A local lawman gunned down, never a conviction. Now a new prosecutor promising action in North Texas. Thanks for joining us tonight for First News at 6. Shannon will be back tomorrow night. And that is where we begin. He hasn't even taken office, but the newly elected Fannin County DA vowing to reopen two high-profile cases. Shannon Wolfson's in the studio with more on our top story. Shannon?
Just 3 weeks after being elected to office, incoming District Attorney Richard Glazer is already talking about solving Fannin County's two highest-profile cases, the killings of White Ride Officer Jim Lamance and Bonham's Jennifer Harris. Acquitted of killing Jim Lamance in April 2002, though some people still believe Richard Hicks got away with murder.
It's pretty devastating for the Lamance family. I've been with them all day, been with them for a couple of weeks, and I feel bad for them. But I don't know what to do.
Moments after the jury found Hicks not guilty, County Attorney Miles Porter was stunned. But more than 2 years later, a case some thought was closed is about to be reopened.
If there's anybody else, since he was found not guilty, that may be culpable, and if I come across any new evidence, I'll certainly take a look at it.
Incoming District Attorney Richard Glazer says he wants justice for the Lamance family, Fannin County community.
I don't know what I'll find when I get in office on January 3rd, but, anything that is unanswered, I think the people should know.
And there's another case at the top of Glazer's list of priorities, the murder of Jennifer Harris in May of 2002.
Well, that is one of my first priorities. I plan to get in and see what can get that moved down the line, because that poor family hasn't had closure, and the public doesn't know what there's around that might have committed murder.
Two innocent victims, one determined prosecutor.
The fact that somebody would take another person's life and then not be held accountable for that should intrigue anybody.
It's been 2 years since Hicks's acquittal. No one else has been charged with Lamance's murder. Glazer believes no one else was ever investigated. Matt?
You'll remember Richard Hicks was found guilty on federal weapons charges last year, sentenced to 15 years in a federal prison. Just this month, an appeals court denied his appeal on those charges. Illegal dumping caught on tape in Grayson County recently, a crime that cost local taxpayers tens of thousands of dollars every year. But now a new plan in Grayson County could save you money. Here's Sara Sheffield.
You don't write tickets on anymore.
Until now, litterbugs who left trash like this only paid up to $500 in fines if they were caught. But now, with a prosecutor specifically trained in how to handle these criminals, expect a crackdown, but at little cost to taxpayers.
The local taxpayers are not having to pay the cost of those few people who choose to throw them out on the county road.
Officials admit it will still be hard to track down these criminals, even with these hidden cameras. But with a local prosecutor, when they're caught, they won't get off easy.
Trash dumping is really a problem. Each year, in the spring and the fall, I open the county barn to allow people to bring their ice boxes, their stoves, and their couches. But still, we're finding them covering up our roads out there, covering up our ditches.
And after people created this mess last week, it blocked up a drainage ditch on Ladd Road, costing taxpayers $5,000, a fine that will soon be shifted from the county to the criminal.
If you learn that if you throw it out, you're going to jailhouse, you're either going to get very, very sneaky, or you're going to go to jailhouse.
A punishment that was once impossible without a local prosecutor, but now will land these litterers in jail with a felony record. In Grayson County, Sara Sheffield, First News.
Texoma Council of Governments funded that project at $19,000. And what could have been an environmental disaster in Sherman last week, today, cleaning up the problem. Crews began pulling 3 old gas tanks out of the ground at this Texaco station on South Texoma Parkway after a 275-gallon gas leak last Wednesday. Their focus now making the area safe again by removing the damaged gas lines, 3 underground tanks, and the sawdust used to absorb the fuel. The Texaco station is still closed. A high-speed chase through an Ardmore neighborhood early this morning. It began around 1:30 when police tried to pull over this man, Frankie Purvey, for not wearing a seatbelt. He sped away, reaching speeds of 80 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. He finally ran into a utility pole near the intersection of 3rd and O Street Northeast. Police found an unloaded handgun inside Purvey's car. He was taken to jail and now faces several charges. 6 months after robbing an Ardmore bank, a couple pleads guilty to all charges. Cynthia Baxter was armed when she entered the Interstate Bank of Commerce in Ardmore back on July 1st. She pled guilty to several charges this week, including armed bank robbery and possession of a stolen firearm. Clifton Baxter, the man who was driving her getaway car, has also pled guilty to those charges. They both face a maximum of 20 years in prison. Caught red-handed by a neighbor in Pottsboro, an accused burglar now behind bars. The neighbor spotted the man breaking into a home in the 600 block of Franklin Street on Saturday afternoon. Within 5 minutes of a call to 911, police caught the suspect in the living room of the home. He's in the Grayson County Jail, charged with burglary of a habitation. Turning to the forecast now, downright yucky out there. Alan, I think that's the official weather term, right?
It's close enough because we have a lot of fog, drizzle, and rain through the area now, and we won't have too much of an improvement in the next few hours. In fact, let's see the radar. And there's some shower activity around Ardmore northward, also some light showers at Van Alstyne Howe back to bottom. This is all generally moving northeast, but in the areas that you don't see on the radar, we have a lot of fog and a lot of drizzle. Visibility will be very limited tonight. A powerful storm system arrives tomorrow. Thunderstorms, some possibly strong to severe, right around the corner.
Coming up, catching up with a familiar face from the old days at Channel 12. Where is Craig Day now? And remember this fish? From Lake Texoma to eBay. That's a little later. And Sooner fans learning the ABCs of the BCS. We're breaking down this week's numbers in sports.
The all-new Broyhill Furniture Gallery is now complete and ready for you at Barnes Home Furnishings in Sherman. You'll find a full line of living room sets, bedroom sets, dining rooms, and kids' furniture items. Our full line of Broyhill Furnishings feature the most popular styles for any home. You've been waiting, and now it's here. See the new Broyhill Gallery featuring the Vintage World line at Barnes Home Furnishings in Sherman.
It's big, it's here, and it's better than ever. Toyotathon 05. The year's biggest event is on with the largest selection and great values on your favorite Toyota trucks. Buy a new Tundra now and get 0% financing for a full 60 months. That's 5 years and not a penny in finance charges. For example, with 0% APR for a full 60 months, you save $4,200 in finance charges alone on Tundra. Toyotathon 05. Quality, selection, value. Now that's moving you forward.
Hi folks, I'm Dan the Siding Man, and we're not having a sale. That's because my everyday prices are already lower than everybody else's advertised sale prices.
When you deal with the Siding Man, you'll get a better product that will save energy, cut your utility bills, and save you money. From custom siding to custom windows, let the Siding Man put his 40 years of experience to work for you.
You'll save money when you call me, Dan the Siding Man, and I'll bet I'll do you a better job.
Make your home away from home at the Holiday Inn Express at the intersection of Highway 75 and FM 120 in Denison. Your stay at the Holiday Inn Express features a comfortable guest room with Southwest decor, roomy meeting areas, copy and fax services, access to high-speed internet, laundry facilities, and a deluxe continental breakfast to start your day. The Holiday Inn Express parking area is equipped with electrical outlets available for boat chargers. Located just minutes from Lake Texoma and the best restaurants in the area. Come see why the Holiday Inn Express was voted Texoma's best hotel.
Tractor Supply Company, the stuff you need out here.
You're watching KXII's First News at 6 with Matt Brown, Liz Ann Anderson, Sports with David Reed, and Alan Crone with First Weather.
I'm about to mark my 10th year at KXII, and not a month goes by that someone doesn't ask me where one of my former co-workers is now. From Nancy Wilson to Lauren Farr, Kristen Priesall to Dale Jones, just to name a few. And one they ask about most often is Craig Day, who used to sit in this very chair. Tonight, we catch up with my old friend.
In southern Oklahoma also awoke this morning to a solid sheet of ice covering most.
He was a Channel 12 fixture for most of the 1990s. Craig Day started at KXII as a college student, worked his way up from intern to main anchor. By the time he left in 1997, Craig had done just about every job in the building.
Something like, let's go to some of the area races.
And if you knew Craig then, it's no surprise he's not far away.
If you can pick up the phone, give me a call at 732-6116.
Staying true to his Oklahoma roots, anchoring the 5 o'clock news for the Tulsa CBS affiliate, KXII-TV.
My goal all along has always been to be in Oklahoma and to be in this area. And
I'm very, very happy that I have the opportunity to do that.
Residents in southern Oklahoma also...
Craig left KXII almost 8 years ago, now with 3 children.
There's Jackson, there's Addison, and there's Andrew.
And his wife, Anissa, now a school teacher. And just like back then, with his homespun storytelling,
Every Wednesday during May,
Craig still loves to be on the front lines as a reporter and anchor, one day working nights, the next on the day shift. Craig is still the same guy he was back then, by definition, a Texoman. Born in Tishomingo, educated at Ada's East Central, and even married a hometown girl from Atoka. His memories of KXII range from the hilarious...
I swallowed a bug during a live shot one time.
...to the serious.
You know, I met a lot of good people, and worked with a lot of good people, and that's something I'll take away from that and remember the rest of my life.
And there's plenty he misses about his time in Texoma, most notably the abundance of good food.
Oh man, my favorite place to eat. There's so many. You could tell too. Barbara's Burgers and Bells, Chuck's Barbecue. The truck stop in Atoka. God, know I've probably eaten at every restaurant in Texoma.
So where is Craig now? Bottom line, still pursuing the same life he was when he lived here.
We all worked really, really hard, but we had so much fun doing it. And we were all learning together, many of us. And to this day, that's real special to me.
You know, Craig and I have kept in touch through the years, and the one constant, he is the same nice and genuine guy now that he was back then. We are not done yet. Up next, the next name, rather, on the Where Are They Now list, Lauren Farr.
Working at KXII for me was like, in retrospect, it's like reading a very good novel.
Not just a former anchor, but my former boss. Lauren has been gone for almost a decade, and a lot has happened since he left, including a major life-altering moment for this longtime journalist. We'll dig into that and the impact Lauren had on those of us he taught along the way, something Craig Day knows a lot about as well.
Farr was the news director that hired me, and he was an incredible teacher. I mean, he would take our scripts and he would rework them and change the writing, but he always had a purpose behind it, and he explained why he did it.
So tune in tomorrow night for First News at 6. We catch up with Lauren Farr on Where Are They Now. Alan Crone, we know where you are in the Weather Center, and it's some bad, yucky weather outside.
Yeah, it is foggy and drizzly. It's going to continue for the short term. Rain and thunderstorms tomorrow. Could even have some severe weather. And then on the backside, snow in northwestern Oklahoma. A lot to talk about. Stay with us.
With faster acceleration than a BMW 325xi and an Audi TT, the all-new Hemi-powered Jeep Grand Cherokee conquers the road like a sports car. And with our exclusive Quadra-Drive 2 4-wheel drive system, it conquers everything else like a trail-rated Jeep 4x4. Now make